Hoy estamos en las oficinas de Biomotor acá en Lima, Perú, y tenemos una visita muy especial de una persona que conocí desde un inicio, ya cerca de 10 años, una persona con grandes conocimientos de mecánica, de la parte técnica y sobre todo de la industria de camiones en Mercedes-Benz. Nos acompaña Jano. Jano es una persona, un ingeniero mecánico que hoy día es responsable de todo lo que es manejo de cuentas corporativas para transporte especializado de carga sobredimensionada. Very welcome, Jano.
Thank you very much, José.
Vamos a tener una conversación con Jano sobre aspectos relevantes que seguramente van a ser muy interesantes para poder compartir con el mercado y los clientes. Tell me, Jano, what about your experience, your knowledge in the industry?
Yeah, well, welcome to this nice session, and thank you for invitation, giving us the chance to talk about the product and the philosophy in Daimler or in Mercedes-Benz trucks. So myself, my background is a truck mechanic, so I did start in 1980 in a big fleet of 500 Mercedes-Benz trucks. In that time, we had about 1,000 sea containers on those trucks running, and we had to keep the fleet running, of course, as cheap as possible. And we had to take care on the total cost of ownership. So this was a very important base for my working life, to learn everything from the customer side, from the base as a mechanic. And of course also driving trucks. We had also to drive the trucks in emergent cases. So there I learned a lot, which is now also very helpful for me to better understand when I get complaints from customers, this and that, it's not working like it should do. But then, of course, I can differentiate.
Jano, cuéntanos, con toda la experiencia que tú has tenido, ¿no?, estando fuera de Mercedes, haciéndote cargo de una flota de 500 camiones y también cuidando de la parte postventa, en pocas palabras, ¿qué representa Mercedes-Benz Camiones para ti? What is your perception in your whole experience, no, out of Mercedes and today now in Mercedes? In 3 words, what is your perception of Mercedes-Benz for you?
For me, it is a product we did constantly develop and improve in a major direction: safety, reliability, and total cost of ownership, to reduce those. So these are the major things we are focusing on. It's not a fancy truck, it's a truck to earn money with. That is our focus we are looking on.
Ok. Y desde la perspectiva del cliente, ¿cuáles son los atributos que más destaca el cliente cuando tiene una experiencia con Mercedes? And from the customer perspectives, which are the main attributes that the customer recognize from Mercedes-Benz trucks concept?
So one side is the service net is the most closed service net worldwide we have. This is important for the customer, for the service. Secondly, selling the truck as a used truck later on abroad. It's very easy to sell it out of Europe or from other countries. Secondly, our truck and let's say our concept we have, it's not only selling the truck. Later on you need, or in the beginning you need a driver training. So we have quite a very well organized driver training office in the plant, and we do train the trainer in all those countries worldwide, that we can support you as a customer in any place in the world for driver training to use it in the right way. Also spare part delivering, we have worldwide this net to distribute the spare parts in time. And you know, I mean, there are other trucks also existing, but when you see it, when it comes to the point of robustness and operation-friendly vehicles, so there we are very ahead. So it's very easy for drivers skipping from one truck to the other, because you just sit in and you engage the gear, just click and keep going. It's not that you need really studying in advance. It's so driver friendly. So that's the important thing. And the other thing is the comfort from the suspension to the insulation, not getting the heat from the engine from the bottom side. When you operate the truck hard, that you get heat inside the cabin, or also the insulation regarding the noise, because this is stress for the driver during the day. It makes a difference in the evening when you get out of a hard working day, without the noise, without the heat, with a good suspension, not shaking all day, to be done like. So that's the things we are looking for in development.
Okay. Me queda claro, eso es algo que siempre ha sido mencionado desde siempre por Mercedes-Benz, tratar de ser una solución para la persona que va a operar el vehículo. Vamos a hablar un poco ahora sobre operaciones complejas. Vamos a hablar un poco de operaciones sobredimensionadas en condiciones muy difíciles, que es la responsabilidad que hoy día tiene Jano, ¿no? We are talking about the complex situation, the heavy haulage, no? The very tough operations, difficult conditions, no? Which is today your responsibility in the position that you have today, no? Regarding SLT experience with the special components that is possible to deliver this not nice service, is reliability in the service. And the other thing, which is here in the country very important, which is tough conditions like we have in Peru, for example in tipper application. Okay, so tell us about this particularly situation in tough service transport operation, in your experience.
So our concept was from long time having these strong axles with the planetary gears. So the idea to increase the torque in the wheel, in the axle, not in the transmission. So also this gives us a better ground clearance by not having the hybrid axle. So that was our concept, and this is for sure for long operation time reliable and stable. And also the transmission, we do have different kind, 12-speed and 16-speed transmission, also from Mercedes made, which according to the ratio can be adjusted to the operation you are going to do. So also engine wise, our own components and the steering box and the frame, and all together, that's a good thing, that we have everything from one hand to adjust it, to make it running smoothly together, not having a transmission from another delivery company. It's our own product, and we can adjust our computers to the best shifting situation or program, as we have off-road program or heavy program or fire program. So not only the standard driving program, we do have developed a lot of programs, especially also for the tipper application, because there is no more the clutch pedal existing, there is no more the gear lever. So you have only this acceleration pedal, and it's now so clever that the driver control everything by the acceleration. That means as soon as he touch the clutch will close, and if he needs a certain actuation to make it like rocking free mode, the driver used in the old days the clutch pedal and the gear lever, and then he had to operate the clutch pedal. So now he just click a button like rocking mode, and then this change the ratio between the gas pedal and the clutch closing time. So it does close the clutch more aggressive. Or in cases that the tipper gets in the deep mud and the wheels are really blocked and it's hard start driving. In the old days, the driver had just clutch, first gear, full acceleration, release the clutch to get the wheel spinning. No need. Nowadays, you just kick down fully, and then the computer recognizes, difficult situation. Then the clutch gets closed, smoothly first, and then it takes 1-2 seconds to raise up the engine rev to 1500. But this is important that the driver wait and remain on the acceleration. Then we will close the clutch hard and the wheel will spin. So this is an important thing. So everything you know from manual driven trucks is all in the computer. So our engineers took over from the best drivers, from the best driving style into the computer. So you just need to use it and give a little time that the system can react and actuate everything what you expect from.
Lo último que acabas de mencionar es realmente importante. Hoy día en Perú estamos nosotros como Motor entregando estos mensajes relacionados con las nuevas tecnologías. Y a veces cuesta entender de que estos cambios que se han dado, esta evolución que se han dado en las nuevas tecnologías que están aplicadas en los diferentes componentes, pueden generar no solamente alta confiabilidad porque le estás facilitando la vida al conductor, sino también estás logrando mejores estándares de seguridad en la operación de transporte y están generando resultados económicos que nunca antes habían logrado los empresarios. So, tell me please, according to these last words referring technologies, what is the difference or what is the main impact of the new technology compared with the previous one? Regarding reliability, regarding efficiency, regarding take the best practice from the old ones, no? And of course, try to transfer these bad things into the best TCO.
Right. I mean, first of all, when you talk about old technology and new technology, just an example, when it comes, for example, to the rear axle, 20 years ago we had trouble, or all manufacturers had trouble with shaft, with the drive shaft, or with the axle, the axle itself, that the drive axle was just cracking by hard operation. So we do have test field in the plant in Turkey. We go for winter test to Scandinavia, minus 40 degrees. In the summer we go to Spain to test in the heat. So we of course, due to our after sales offices in our headquarters, our after sales matters coming from all the countries in the world, we summarize, we see where do we have the weak points, and then we do invest to improve that stuff. For example, as I said, this problem with the rear axle. So now, even today, if a driver would forget to switch off the diff lock, it's not a problem for our axle, maybe for the tires, but we do test in our factory. We go full load and deeper. We can do 200 rounds in an 8. We drive an 8 on a concrete road, full loading, with the diff lock closed. And we expect that our components can stand. It will not crack down. So it's more than double. I always say it is a belt, and also we say Hosenträger, double safe. We develop the components for the operation. When it comes to TCO, could you imagine in 1988 we did announce first, as a first manufacturer, the flexible service system. The flexible service system is a system which is taking care of all the aggregates. In each aggregate, transmission, axle, retarder, cooling system are temperature sensors. We measure the stress of the vehicle by the oil temperature. So that means as more often the temperature is high, we have to change the oil earlier or later. And also for the engine, let's say you fill in new oil, you get 1000 points. Each cold start, the computer -5 points. Each time high revolution, high temperature, it counts down. And you can adjust the computer according to your viscosity, to your quality. I mean, it must be according to the Mercedes-Benz standard, and the sulfur content, which is different in the countries in the world. So these three main figures need to be informed into the system on board. And then you can expect a maximum operating time of the oil and the valve adjustment and filter change nowadays with Euro 6. So could you imagine in Europe, this is flat road, highway run, engine oil, as an example, it can be up to 150,000 kilometers engine oil operation. Transmission of 300,000 and rear axle 450,000 or less depending on the stress. If a firefighting truck gets parking 2 years in the backyard, 0 kilometers, the system will tell the driver after 2 years, please change the oil. So also the time, the mileage, the sulfur, the quality, the viscosity, everything is summarized in the computer, and it's a very sharp system. The problem is that people do not trust in it. So this is a thing we did develop. Some OEMs came along 2 years ago on the exhibition in Hanover saying we have now a flexible service system. This is an old thing we have more than 30 years, and this is a major cost saving we can offer to you. That's I'm always trying to explain again. Trust it. Trust. If you don't believe, you can still use some oil to the labor to double check, but it's really a sharp system. And another thing, when you talk about reducing costs, this for the driver training. So without seeing your fleets, I would promise you from the experience I saw at so many customer visits that the operation makes a difference. You know, you can easily save 5 to 10% of running costs, again on top of TCO by our maintenance system. So it starts with, major points are the air pressure. Very often nobody's checking really the air pressure, so this makes a difference in fuel consumption, 3-4%. And also the lifetime of a tire will be less, and the unplanned stop on the highway changing a wheel is dangerous additionally. The third thing is the speed. You know, most go as fast as possible, 90 or more, but the air resistant is the same for all those trucks. So reducing the speed from 90 to 80 makes 11% less fuel consumption, or at least from 90 to 85 it will be 6%. So no invest necessary, nothing, and the time you will lose from 90 to 80 is just 8 minutes, but in reality it's only 3 to 4 minutes you will lose in time. But could you imagine, for 3 minutes more driving time you pay 11% more fuel for getting 80? This is something I cannot get. And the last thing is the distance between the vehicles. Yes, I know the traffic is heavy in Lima and also in Mexico City, but when you go out of the highway and it should be 3 seconds. When you go, the first truck in front of you is passing a bridge, then I keep counting 21, 22, I count 3 seconds. And this is the correct distance to any speed. In a lower speed it's less, in a higher speed it's more. But the 3 seconds is enough space not using the service brake. You just get off the acceleration and let the truck run, and the wind will slow down your vehicle. So these are 3 figures, main figures you can reduce. This is a question of discipline, and this is not an easy way to adjust or to achieve with the drivers. That's why I always say it's worth and important to invest in the driver training. And there are another 3 points important. Just last but not least, driver training. If you train these guys, they are getting better. They show a good picture 2-3 weeks, but then they start forgetting it because other things in their life coming up. So it's gone. That's why after doing training, the fleet owner should invest in a system to control, to check the driver, how good he is. We can offer fleet board, you can also buy a cheaper system from the market. However, you need to measure the performance. My boss also measure my performance. We do talk about in January what is the aim for this year, and in December he's asking me what did you do during the year. So please, I mean this is a normal thing. You have to check, the police is checking out. So anyway, training, measure, and give them a feedback, those drivers. You know, you can say, look, it was quite good, but now you start doing the same again. You never use a retarder, you always use service brake in a high pressure, and so on. And the last thing, the important thing is, when the drivers are good, achieving less fuel consumption and less accidents and less brake wear, and then you should give them some extra money. You know, then it's fun for the drivers too. So you as a fleet owner, you can get some money extra, you save the cost, the driver gets something, he will be happy. So these are the 3 things: training, control, and feedback, and give them some extra. That's
excellent.
Yeah.
Last 2 words, las últimas 2 preguntas. En los desarrollos tecnológicos, ¿cuáles son los aportes que ha hecho Mercedes-Benz en las tecnologías a diésel para reducir el impacto ambiental o para contribuir a mejorar el impacto ambiental. Y la última pregunta es, ¿qué recomendarías tú o cómo le transmitirías al cliente peruano que confíe en las soluciones de Mercedes-Benz? ¿Por qué? The last two questions, okay? What is the advantage, what is the consequence of this new technology in new engines, transmissions, from Mercedes-Benz to support the environmental curve
That's a big
in the world? And the last question is, according to your experience and your knowledge and this big opportunity that we have to have here in Peru,
Thank you.
what are the main reasons from the Peruvian customers to trusting Mercedes-Benz trucks in the motor solutions? The first one,
The first one, environmental.
Technology and environmental.
Yeah,
no?
I mean, it is also by law given. I mean, in Europe, they sit at the table in Brussels and they always increase the expectations, and it makes also sense, of course. We cannot burn the oil like we want to. We need to take care of our globe, and this is a challenge for all of us, for all manufacturers and customers. We have to work together to achieve there a better efficiency, and that's why right now we are working on Euro 7. That means even reducing CO2. I mean, reducing CO2 means less fuel consumption, because 1 liter of diesel fuel burns also to 2.6 kilograms.
When is planning to deliver Euro 7 in Europe?
Yes, it's in 2028. It will come in 2028.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a big challenge right now, to reduce the NOx again and the particles, and mainly the CO2 means equal less fuel consumption. So we have to work on this very hard, and that's it. What we do in the moment, we do, of course, look for the air resistant. So we will have in 2 years of time, we will face new cabins with certain shielding at the front and also covering better the wheels to reduce the air resistant. This is one thing. And of course, still working even more mileage to achieve by using either better oil qualities, and of course also operation that the drivers really use it in a better way. Also these control functions to improve those. So we do have we call it echo. So if customers are open to it, we could install a computer to following the truck all the time, and we get the live data to the development department. As a benefit, we can give the customer a report about how was the load, the stress, and how was the operation. We would like to learn about the real load and stress for vehicle to further develop our products. So that's why we have to be at the pulse, at the customer, at our trucks in operation. And that's it, a thing which is ongoing, we are doing. And without a service and support like DB Motor does in this country, and Kaufmann in other countries, or so this is a very important point. Selling a truck is one thing, but maintaining, and that's a very important stuff to sell the second one and the third one. You know, trucks you can trust, and even more important, people you can trust. That when a customer is coming to the workshop, that he get the chance to explain his problems, and of course we seriously take it and search and diagnose and repair to get the truck back to the customer in time. So I'm very happy to have DB Motor, knowing that they are very strong and supporting us and reporting to the factory to make a very good job for you, customer, and also for us to even improving our product.
Okay, excellent. Okay, many thanks, Hanno.
You're most welcome. It was a pleasure.
I really appreciate your words, and for sure we are going to take these comments, this strong message for us and of course for Peruvian market, and try to use it because we have I think a very strong, very profitable solution for the market, for our customers. Estamos muy claros, gracias sobre todo por el tiempo, por esa pasión a la hora de transmitir los mensajes, y estamos más que seguros que ya Mercedes se ha dado a conocer en el mercado peruano, pero vamos a ir con mucho más intensidad en las operaciones más complejas, más duras, para transmitirle al mercado y a los clientes que esta nueva tecnología que hoy día disponemos es una tecnología que puede generar grandes beneficios para el operador, para el empresario, para la economía de las empresas, para el medio ambiente y para hacer esto sostenible en el tiempo. Muchas gracias, Jano.
Most welcome. It was a pleasure.
Ok, gracias.